Hi, I'm Miss Cindy from the Crown Point Community Library, and today I'm going to bring the library into your home with a middle grade book bite. Middle grade book bites are little snippets of books that we have in our juvenile fiction and juvenile graphic novel collection that are available for ebook format so that you can download them and you can read them at home when the library is closed. So the book that I'd like to share with you today is a book called Scar Island by Dan Gemeinhart. And this is an AR book. It is book level 4.1 and it is worth 8 points. It's also one of our Young Hoosier nominees for this year, so you may have seen it on our Young Hoosier list. So I would like to start just by sharing a little bit of the author's writing style with you by reading a little bit of the first chapter. Chapter 1, A Dark Place Indeed. It's no fun shivering when you're wearing handcuffs. It doesn't help to be seasick either. Jonathan Grisby sat hunched over in the wildly rocking boat and tried not to throw up. And he tried not to let his teeth chatter together so hard that they shattered. And he tried at the same time to look like he didn't care. It wasn't easy. The little boat rocketed off each wave and crashed into the next with a jolt that sent shots of pain into his rear from the metal bench. His clothes were wet from the salty spray. The wind kept blowing his straight black hair into his eyes, and with his hands cuffed, he couldn't brush it away. The sun was already down, and every second brought more darkness. He noticed the boat's pilot grinning at him. It wasn't a nice grin. He was missing most of his teeth, and the few that he had were brown and crooked. Tobacco juice dribbled out from his bottom lip into his scraggly gray beard. "You look scared," the pilot shouted over the whine of the outboard motor that he steered with one hand. Jonathan just blinked and looked away. "It's all right to be scared, boy." The pilot eased back on the motor, slowing the boat so that he didn't have to yell. He was still smiling, and his eyes twinkled with a mean hunger. "I'd be scared, too, if I was you, and if I was going to where you be going." The pilot's smile widened, showing off even more stained teeth. "Course you probably already know 'twas a dark place, don't ya? That's why you're going there, after all. A dark place for dark youths such as yourself. Troublemakers, delinquents, criminals." He savored each word in his mouth like a salty piece of bacon. "How old are ye, boy? 12? 13? Jonathan bit his lip. He didn't want to talk to Cirrus, but he was feeling awfully lonely, handcuffed in a boat on his way to a prison. "Something like that," he said at last with a shrug. Cirrus's mouth widened into a wolf's grin. "Ah, you're right in the middle then. Criminal boys aged 10 to 14. That's what Slabhenge is for, isn't it? Can't imagine what dark crime you committed to get yourself sent here, boy. They'll have you meek as a lamb in no time, I'd wager, begging to run back to your mama's lap." "Ah, there she is," Cirrus crowed. "Go ahead, boy. Turn around and take a look at your new home." Jonathan twisted in his seat and craned his neck to get his first view of the Slabhenge Reformatory School for Troubled Boys over the rusted bow of the boat. It was a hulking, jagged building of gray stone, surrounded on all sides by foaming sea. The walls were high, rising up 2 or 3 stories from the crashing waves. Several towers stabbed up even higher into the gathering black clouds from the corner of the building. Each was flat-topped and crowned with a black iron railing. A few dark windows dotted the higher parts of the walls. Instead of glass, they had thick metal bars. In a movie, it would be where the evil lord lived, or where the good guy died. There was no beach, no land, not even any rocks. The waves smashed and churned right up against the great square stone blocks of the walls. Jonathan gulped. It was worse than he'd heard, and what he'd heard had been terrible. He ground his teeth together and let the stiff ocean wind dry his angry tears before they could fall from his eyes. His hands shackled together behind his back, squeezed into fist, and then went loose. "Pretty, ain't it?" Cirrus chuckled. His laugh turned into a cough and finished with a thick spit over the side of the boat. "It weren't always a school, you know. 'Twas built first for lunatics and madmen." Cirrus laughed again. "That there, for the first 100 years or so of its miserable existence, was an asylum. a madhouse, a prison for the criminally insane. So Jonathan begins this story heading to his new home, which is this prison, which is an island that he's going to be imprisoned on for a crime that he committed. As the book unfolds, you do find out about the crime that he committed, and you find out about the other boys that are also on this island with him. However, in near the pretty much the beginning of the book, there's a freak accident that occurs, and the boys are left alone without any adult supervision on this island. Well, somebody has to always be in control, and so what happens next is a fight for who is going to be the person on the island, which one of these boys, and they're all troubled, they're all there for committing crimes, is going to be the person who's going to take the leadership role and take control and decide what happens to the rest. So Jonathan is left in a situation where he not only is trying to deal with the things that he did that sent him here, but he's also trying to survive on this terrible island. And this story is very suspenseful. It's very exciting, and I don't know if you're familiar with Dan Gemeinhart, but I really like his writing. I like his books. Anything that I've read by him it's always a good read. So pick it up, check it out, enjoy it, and I hope to see you soon. Check out our library website for more resources and for more book bites. Take care.